Hello, savage gentlemen. How you guys doing? Hope everything's okay. I don't know what that was. Anyway, it's been a weird night for me. Been a weird night for us. I'm not gonna get into it too much, but I'm gonna kind of like address it, but I don't want to address it because I'm just starting to move that away and out of me. But I'm not gonna say any names or any situations. But I'm gonna say this. Um, Tonight on social media, there was a little bit of an uproar over something which doesn't even need to be talked about anymore. For those of you guys who saw it, you're going to know what I'm talking about. And then for those of you guys who didn't see it, then that's awesome. I prefer it that way. And I'm going to tell you why. Here's what I learned tonight. I learned that I didn't like I okay. I'm gonna honest. I'm gonna level with you guys. I'm gonna be real. Everybody has an ego, and it's important to have an ego, and it's important to I don't know. It's important to be able to to be able to have that ego to drive you to get better in the gym and like want to do more and like read more and get smarter and like have different experiences and stand out and blah 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 blah. But the ego can also be very detrimental in certain circumstances. And what I learned tonight was that we're really lucky. Like Sunny and I have been going really hard on anti-hero fitness for a while, and and we've been working our asses off, and we've built a little bit of a following. Now, by here's where I'm kind of here's what I'm talking about. You go now. By no sense of the imagination do I think I'm anybody special. I am just your common everyday asshole who likes to work out. Pardon my language. I'm probably going to swear a little bit here. But I'm not special. I've been working out a lot since I was a kid. As I always say, I don't know everything. I don't want to know everything. I don't want to be that guy. But I know a lot about a lot, which allows me to be able to create kind of like Savage and Six and custom experiences and do online training. Worked a lot of years at a job that I hated and kind of did online training on the side. And then, we built we built a little bit of like a community and a little bit of influence, and we were able to monetize it. And now here we are, like living in Costa Rica and doing fitness challenges and doing kind of like fitness guiding and fitness mentoring, and that's really cool. And what's allowed us to do that is some of our social media presence that we've built online. And um, social media can be used for a couple of different things. It can be used for a lot of things, but primarily the thing that I want to use it for is for building people up. And there's other people out there who use social media to build to tear people down, and that's kind of fucked up. But at the same time, life is life. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I learned today that Coco, get away from my chicken. I guess I guess what I learned today is that we do have a little bit of an influence. Um, Kind of ran into a situation where somebody kind of attacked what we do with our business and how we do it, and made it very public instead of never addressed it with us, and kind of started a little bit of an uproar. And I got sick of being beaten up over nothing. So I put my 2 cents in, and I made a post on Instagram, and there was a huge uproar, and everybody jumped in, and clients and friends and all this stuff, like raced to support us. And I realized like we're not special by any means, but like people like us and people listen to us, and that's a powerful thing. And there's two ways that you can go with that. And one is to use that influence for negativity and to tear people down and to be to cause shit, and to create trouble and to try to take people apart. Or the other side of that is you can use it to build people up, and that's why we started doing what we were doing. I didn't want to create a big social media presence so that I could tear people down. And somebody tore me down, tried to tear us down, and I went back at them pretty hard because I've had enough of it. And I'm very kind of like A type. Senya is more of like a laid back, like um, well, kind soul, sweetheart. And I'm like a good guy, but I got a backbone, man. Like I just and it's like ego, right? It's ego. So anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I want to tonight I learned that we do have a following, and that we're blessed, and we have people give a shit about what we do, and that is so cool. And we work so hard to get there, and I want to be able to use that for positive things. And when you see other people tearing other people down in social media, um, be suspicious of their intentions and be suspicious of their character and what they're trying to do. And in defending myself tonight, um, I think maybe I displayed some character traits. I was logical about it, about the way I went about defending us. But I want to be the kind of guy to empower people. I didn't get into this shit to take people apart, man. Even when I was when I was working in health and safety and oil field gas, like my thing was to rally the troops and get them involved with safety and keep them happy and keep their morale up. And that's what I want to do, and that's what I want to continue to do. So it was just kind of like a little. It was interesting because I'm not saying like I said, just I'm not saying I'm huge or I'm like a big deal because I'm not. I'm just like an idiot. Like I'm not an idiot, but I'm just like a common guy who likes to work out and knows a lot about fitness and diet and nutrition, and I've been blessed enough to be able to make it my passion. Even though I was defending us and defending what we do and defending my girlfriend, I want to use that for good things only. So it was a bit of a life lesson. If you saw what happened, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you didn't see what happened, awesome. Let's keep it like that, and let's just keep things rolling, man. Let's just stay happy and move forward. So anyway, okay. Once again, I digress. I want to talk to you guys about a couple of different hormones tonight. Number one, cortisol. Cortisol is known as the stress hormone. And I would say that my cortisol levels were pretty high earlier. Cortisol levels are dropping. But how does that relate to fitness? Well, cortisol is the stress hormone. And when your body fills up with cortisol, your body starts acting pretty inefficiently. When you go for a really, really heavy workout, your cortisol levels rise, they jack, right? That's why you never really want to spend like too much time in the gym. If you spend like 5 hours in the gym, let's just say, your cortisol levels are going to be through the freaking roof. And that's why I encourage you guys to break up your workouts as well and do your cardio separately. I recommend that you always do a warm-up before your workout, as I kind of illustrated the other day in that video. The proper procedure, the minimal procedure, I guess you could say, for warming up. But I think that it's optimal in an ideal world. If you can split up your workout, then it's just as effective, and it's also going to keep your cortisol levels lower. One of the quickest ways to decrease your cortisol levels after a heavy workout is actually consume some food. So that's one way that you can do it. And after so long in the gym and after putting so much stress on your joints and your muscles, your cortisol levels are high. So a little protein shake, a little bit of food, and of course some rest and relaxation is going to be what you need to get your cortisol levels down. Why is a high cortisol level a bad thing? Sorry, I'm thirsty. Senia, why is cortisol a bad thing?
Oh, it makes you store fat.
Makes you store fat.
Makes you burn muscle.
Makes you burn muscle. Your body gets confused.
The fight or flight.
It's the fight or flight instinct, right? Your body goes into panic mode.
Body is constantly that. You also age.
That's right. It ages you.
More oxidants.
Yes. Yes.
Stuff.
It's bad. Cortisol is bad. Cortisol basically it lowers your immune system. It tells your body to start using a fuel source that's based off your muscles as opposed to fat. So you want to kind of try to manage your cortisol levels. And how do you manage your cortisol levels? Number one, of course, trying to keep your stress down, trying to keep yourself level, calm all the time. Because when you start to freak out, your cortisol jumps, and it's really detrimental to your overall fitness. Cortisol levels can be, of course, as I said, really rigorous exercises. Hey, Burrito, if you could just, I'm trying to do a video here. Yeah. Thank you. Anyway, if your cortisol, I'm just having fun here, guys. I'm sorry. If you're, I don't know. You want to go and like,
I'm gonna pet him.
Okay, we're gonna go pet him. When your cortisol levels jack up, it's a bad thing. You gotta make sure you're sleeping properly. If you're not sleeping properly, your cortisol levels don't have a chance to readjust. So sleep plays a large factor in cortisol levels as well. And you'll actually start storing more fat around your tummy in particular when you've got high cortisol levels. And if you're really, really stressed out and your cortisol is high, it's going to lower the caliber of your workouts. It's going to decrease your immune system, and it's also going to lower the returns that you're making in the gym because you're not going to heal as quickly, and your body is going to choose muscle over top of fat as an energy source, and that's bad. We work hard for that muscle. We want to keep it. So cortisol plays a really, really important role in your health, and that's something that you can get tested through blood work. Regular blood work, they can do my neck. Regular blood work, they can do a cortisol check. Another one that I want to talk to you guys about, and a lot of you guys have heard me talk about this before too. I've just got to get through this stuff with some of the new guys before we move into the other stuff. I want to talk about insulin levels, right? So insulin is like the fat storage hormone, right? It's a hormone that's produced by your body, which tells your body to start storing glucose, which is sugar that's been broken down. It tells it to start storing that. So Ultimately, like in a perfect world, you want to keep your insulin levels as low as possible. And you're going to do that by eating complex carbohydrates over top of simple carbohydrates, right? Simple carbohydrates are something that readily converts to glucose, which is sugar, very, very quickly. Carbohydrates are important for what we're doing. Your body needs carbohydrates. It's a good, clean energy source. Complex carbohydrates are. And it's basically what gives you, it's most of us, our body primarily runs off of carbohydrates unless we hit ketosis. If we hit ketosis, then our body will start using ketones and fat as fuel. But anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is carbohydrates are not the evil that people say they are. However, choosing simple carbohydrates is going to spike your insulin levels, which is going to tell your body to start storing glucose and food as fat. So the best way, it's a very hormonal response. Our body and the way that we adapt and the way that we heal, it's not just like what we eat and how much we work out. It has a lot to do with our hormone flux. So if you're constantly stacking on simple carbohydrates, stuff that readily converts to sugar, such as like sugar, bread, white flour, and a lot of other things, and your body's going to start spiking your insulin levels. And a few different things happen when your insulin levels spike. So your insulin levels, let's just say you eat a big fatty meal, or even if you have a couple of cookies, your insulin levels are going to spike. And when that happens, and your insulin levels, hey sweetie, can you stop him please? Dog is, come here, burrito. Okay, that's it. I'm solving this problem once and for all. Hold on. Get over here. Okay. Anyway, back to insulin. So when your insulin levels spike when you eat simple carbohydrates, the best way to stay in peak shape and the best way to make progress is to keep your insulin levels steady. And I'm going to explain kind of why. And you keep them steady through eating complex carbohydrates. Why? Because complex carbohydrates break down slower, and they feed your body slower, right? Complex carbohydrates are a better fuel source. And complex carbohydrates, like a lot of them, brown rice, yam. Give me some more complex carbohydrates like quinoa, pumpkin's complex carbohydrate? Pumpkin. Yeah, you want to use complex carbohydrates because it's going to avoid spiking your insulin levels, and it's going to stop you from going into that fat storage state, which is kind of ideal. Burrito loves carbs. He loves simple carbs. But so it's not so much carbohydrates that hurt you or impede you. It's the type of carbohydrates that you eat. And it's really important to learn the difference between complex and simple carbohydrates. So what exactly happens when you eat let's just say you go out and you eat a huge cheat meal, and there's a bunch of simple carbohydrates and a bunch of fat, right? So a couple of different things happen. Your body goes into, your insulin spikes right off the bat, and they've likened consuming fat and carbohydrates. They actually activate serotonin levels, and they give you kind of an emotional high. So that's why when I get upset, anyway, I like to eat like crap. Tonight I did not do that. But why I like to eat you like to eat like crap because there's an emotional response attached to this, right? Eating simple carbohydrates and heavy fats actually affects your body's dopamine receptors, which gives you a nice happy feeling, right? So anyway, thank you, burrito. That's great. So you eat you eat a cheat meal, and your insulin starts spiking, and you start feeling good, and you're having a good time, and it doesn't really take a lot. It just takes a medium portion of simple carbohydrates to spike your insulin like this, and you start feeling good, and all of a sudden your insulin is spiking. But what goes up must come down. It's just kind of like the basic law of the universe, and insulin is no exception. So your insulin comes up, and it kind of peaks out, and you stop eating, right? And you're feeling good, and then boom, right? It starts to come back down. And all of a sudden, the dopamine and the serotonin that's been released in your body, which is why people actually have real addictions to eating junk food. Like, it's a real thing. Like, being addicted to crap food actually happens because it activates serotonin and dopamine in your head, and you feel good, and it makes you feel good, and then your insulin level starts to drop. And burrito doesn't like when that happens, so we try to make sure we feed him simple carbohydrates all the time, just to keep him as amped up as he is. Anyway, not really. So anyway, you start to drop right after a big fatty meal, and it drops and it drops and it drops. And here's baseline, but it doesn't go down to baseline and then just keep cruising solid. Kind of drops below baseline again, and then when it drops below baseline, another hormone kicks in, And that hormone is called ghrelin. And ghrelin is the hunger hormone. Ghrelin is important. That's what tells you your body that you're hungry. So interestingly enough, when ghrelin levels are the highest, when insulin is below baseline, that's when you feel that's when you feel the trying to.
He wasn't chicken.
He does want chicken. So anyway, I'm sorry guys. It's been a weird night. So drops down, right? All of a sudden you lose that dopamine high, you lose that, you lose the serotonin high. You're down here, and ghrelin kicks in. It's the hunger hormone. Now you're hungry, right? And your first response as a human is to try to get something in you that's going to activate those dopamine and serotonin receptors again. As well as spike your insulin. So when you actually feel hungry, that's your, hey, burrito, get off the chicken. Get off the chicken. I know, he's getting so ballsy. I know. It's okay. We still love you. We still love you. So, I'm sorry, guys. It's like being in my living room with me. But anyway, so yeah, your body starts to get that intense cravings, and that's why people get addicted to food, and that's why a cheat day turns into a cheat meal turns into a cheat day, turns into a cheat week, turns into blah 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 blah, because you just have this intense emotional and hormonal desire for crappy food, and it's normal. It's built into us. It's back when we were cavemen, body is okay. It's time to go and hunt, and you had to walk your 40 miles so you could shoot a pterodactyl out of the sky and drag it home. I don't think we live with pterodactyls, but I'm just playing games here. So it's important. It was hardwired into us, but now scarcity is no longer a thing. There's a McDonald's on every corner of the earth. Like I can drive 20 minutes and hit a McDonald's, and I live in freaking Costa Rica. So scarcity is no longer a thing. It's kind of an old hormone, which your body still needs, but it's not as important because there's always food everywhere. So you got to understand that when you go in to have your weekly cheat meal, it's good to set up a plan. I'm going to talk to you guys about planning out your cheat meal and the best strategy to make sure that your cheat meal doesn't turn into a cheat week. Because the truth of the matter is that this is a 6-week intense challenge, right? You guys signed up to make some serious changes in your body, and we're going to do that. But man, the guy's got to eat. Every once in a while, you got to take down a hamburger, because why are we doing this if we can't enjoy the good things in life too? It's important. So I'm going to explain kind of some cheat meal strategies to get you ready and get you prepared so that as your hormones are going all crazy and you finish your cheat meal, you're not dying for another burger, so you don't go into a 2-day binge, right? And that's generally the best way to do it, is kind of like once a week. And I think so. I think it's because of that, because you're not always triggering that hormone response that's going to make you spike your insulin, and ghrelin's going to kick in. You're going to get all down, right? If you're just eating little bits of crap here or there, your hormones are all over the place, and you're just not getting that perfect metabolism and that perfect, what's the word I'm looking for? That perfect combination of hormones that's going to keep your body burning fat and getting stronger. So that's all I have for you guys today. A bunch more stuff coming up tomorrow. I hope you guys are killing it. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong. I'm stoked. I'm excited. I'm going to do a Zoom call on Saturday. I'm going to post a poll tomorrow, I think, find out what anybody's time zone is. And we're going to do it in the most common time zone, where we're just going to do like half an hour, 45-minute Zoom call where you can kind of join me. And then we'll just kind of whatever, even if we hang out and just talk shit for a little while, or if you have questions, or if there's discussions that you want to have, or like maybe there's something that intrigues you, or maybe you got something you want to share, whatever it might be. I'm going to try to make these a little bit more interactive and get you guys in a little bit more involved for those who want to be. So other than that, 18 minutes. If you're still listening, my God, go find something valuable to do with your time. I'm kidding. This dog, man, you're going to get he likes to do this. So it is what it is. I love you guys. Hope you're all having an awesome night, and we'll talk to you soon. Ciao.